management. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And so what I have used, and you heard, for those of you who had my earlier CDs, my CDs with Paul Bauer were talking about how I wasn't hiring the right people. And I read a book that changed my life, and I had a coaching session with this gentleman, Brad Smart from Top Grading. He had a book called How to Top Grade. And basically, I got a coaching session with him, and a lot of my students here heard this session. He told me how to hire the right people. I listened to it, I got coached upon it, and did not execute any of it. 6 months hired. Every bad hire you hire costs you $1 million, a lifetime. Because maybe customers don't tell anyone, maybe they tell negativity about people. So you want to be in a situation that you want to hire right. And what he uses is, write this down, the torque method. The torque method. Threat of reference check. Threat of reference check. So when we hire people, and we have only been wrong one time in the last year and a half since I have this, we sit down and we, first of all, when people apply for a job, automatically they're sent over a 8-page questionnaire with all their history. 98% of the people don't fill it out. You know what that says about them? Pardon me? Well, it means that if you're not willing to fill out the questionnaire now because you think it's too much work, how are you going to go work for me? Does that make sense? Red flag. And I was getting frustrated. I was like, Brad, I'm not getting anyone. And he goes, then you haven't found the right candidate, right? So then we found some people, then we start filling it out, and sometimes there are gaps. So what we do is we go back and we say this. Go back, and then all the references where they work. And here's where I go. I said, okay, we need you to set up an interview with all of your previous bosses from your previous companies. 5, 6, 7, whatever it is. An A player says, yeah, sure, no problem. They may not be there, but they left on good terms. A B player goes, well, this one liked me, this one didn't really like me, this. And the C player goes, oh, no one works there anymore. Right? And C players automatically discount themselves out. A players are like, sure, they did it. And then we call every single one of them, and we say, listen, just between you and I need you to be 100% honest. You don't know me, you don't know Al. Tell me, what's their biggest problem? I'm like, and then they say, well, and then you make decisions. Sometimes they say, it's fantastic. We wish we went left it. But we don't go straight asking. We build up rapport, relationship. Hey, what's your business? What do you do, right? And then we ask them the question, because now it's just not, it's building rapport first, then you can ask your question. And doing that, every single person we've hired has been really, really good. And then we got a top grading. There's a huge manual, because I attended the class after I realized that I wasn't hiring the right people. And there's a huge manual, and there's a list of 100 questions we ask. And it's like, you know, what makes you an A player? A is my favorite letter. And if we have a selling position, we start talking, we interview, and then I say to them, you're not a good salesperson. And they're like, I disagree. And someone who's a good salesperson is like, no, I did this. You see what I mean? I know right away. So you ask questions that, or I say, I don't think you're an A player. You know what I mean? You're entitled to your opinion. You know, so you can tell a lot by their personality. Innovation. Oh, by the way, quick to fire, slow to hire. I was slow to fire, wouldn't hire anyone. Very important. You got to cut bait if they're not an A player. You have to surround yourself with A player. Negative people, you know, I understand mistakes happen. Mistakes start happening twice, then we have a problem. Innovation. Why is Apple the greatest company in the world right now? It's because they are innovating. They're doing what anybody else, what no one else is doing. You need to focus on your USP. How are you different in your business? Don't tell me you're nice. Don't tell me you're loyal. Don't tell me you have integrity. Don't tell me you work hard. Everyone says that. Like, who here is disloyal? I'll be like, hey, me. You know what I mean? No one's going to say that. You know, so you can't, those are questions like that. You must show innovation. And how do you show innovation? For example, wouldn't you like to know what happens at the Ritz-Carlton, that class, net worth? Well, I'm going to go to that class, and then you're going to benefit from me spending 5 days It's a 5-day training. So if I'm willing to spend 5 days of my life to find out how the Ritz-Carlton, do you think you can come to New York to the billionaire experience and spend 3 with George Ross and me? So I'm going to share with you all the meats and how I play, because I need to get into the mind of the affluent. I need to figure out about marketing to the affluent, which is very important. We also talk about the art of delegation. Little stuff, dry cleanings, typing, spreadsheets, doing your own bookkeeping, doing your own laundry, shopping. You have to delegate. You have to focus on the thing. So right now, I want you to do an exercise. Write down 3 things that if you only focused on those 3 things, you would make more money at. Write that down. Just focus on, what are your 3 strengths? If I focus on these 3 things, I would make more money. Okay? That's a very important exercise because you need to find out what is going to make you money. For example, 80% of email is considered non-productive, non-efficient, non-urgent. All right, who's got one for me? Yes, Doug.
Money partners.
Money partners, which was not your strength before we start coaching you. Okay? So what are you doing right now that you think if you got rid of, you could do more of that?
Definitely things that you talked about. Doing my own laundry, housekeeping, mow my lawn. I still do all that stuff.
You really still do all that? Yeah, cheap. You told me you weren't doing that stuff anymore. Are you cheating on me with your lawnmower? You're lying to me? I thought we had something real here. Take back the award. Yeah. And how much do you think a month do you spend doing all the little crap stuff like that?
Dollars or time?
No, time. Ballpark. A month.
10 hours.
10 hours. So if you can focus 10 more hours a month, and that's 120 hours a year, how much more money would you be worth?
I think a lot.
So why aren't you why are you still mowing your lawn?
Good question.
Right. I don't know if you're mowing the lawn in Maine though, like, right? So very important. Right? Anybody else? Yes.
Power networking.
The hell's that?
Meeting really the top people in our market, the top brokers, the top mortgage companies, and so on, and just connecting with them to.
Can I be honest with you?
Absolutely.
I was going to be anyways, whether you liked it or not. Number 1, get rid of that chain. Okay? It's been bothering me for 3 days. Number 1.
Okay.
I'm serious. I mean, that's like old style. That's not thing. Number 2, you don't look like a CEO. You look like someone who works for the CEO. You look like a salesman with that shirt on. That's not power. Look very good here. Now, I'm saying, if I look at both of them and I'd say which one is in charge, I'd say him. Your partners. Okay? You want to look like the part, right? Yep. I think you did a very good job. Also too. I mean, a lot of you look very SEAL-like. I see you kept a checkered shirt, like I told you to get rid of 6 months ago. Don't you listen to me? This relationship is not going to work, Doug, if you don't listen to me. And then you wonder why you're still single, Doug. We talked about that too.
You are too.
Pardon me?
Look how fast the chain's gone.
Pardon me? The chain's already gone.
Maybe you should try a checkered shirt.
I've always wanted to wear a picnic table on myself. I just never figure where. Who wants to feast on me?
Not New Zealand.
Pardon me?
Not New Zealand.
Single by choice, remember. First time I met Donald Trump, big Donald Trump comes in, I'm looking up, and he's big, and he goes, "You're a good-looking guy." You see that, Damien? Always sign a prenup, always, and then he walked away. I saw your profile on Match.com, don't lie. Sexy real estate investor man with checkered shirt and lobsters, willing to wow you with my lawn skills. I will also do my own laundry. I'm a man who invests in myself. Exactly. Doug Solomon. I mean, I want this to last forever.
What were you doing on that?
Pardon me?
What were you doing on
Your partner told me you were on. Doug, you got a better chance at eHarmony. I'm just telling you. Anybody else? Yes?
Strategizing.
Strategizing. What are you doing right now that you can give away so you can spend more time on strategizing? Tell me, like what? List them out.
Remodeling houses myself.
Okay, but that's the problem. You know, how many millionaire contractors do you know?
None.
No, I don't know anybody. And so what you're trying to say is you're trying to trade time, right, to save money by doing it yourself. Let me tell you something. If you have to do the work yourself, it's not a good deal. You understand? You live in Ohio. You understand? Mm-hmm. They're everywhere. Okay? They're a dime a dozen. You know what I mean? You could pick up 6 property for $7 and still have change to go to the store.
True.
Right? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, okay, so you got to get rid of that stuff. Well, you want to wake up every morning and say, how am I going to grow my business? Right? Now, you're already doing some things. You won the award. You're doing things that are doing really well, but you got to focus on the things that are going to make you more money. You got to, I was afraid. You know what's the thing I'm afraid the most? I'm afraid that if I hire someone, they're going to cost me money. But after I realized that these people free up my time so I can do more, and also do what I love. Sometimes I'm doing things that I hate, so that doesn't work.